Nini everyone, Mary here again. Gosh, it's been a long while since rep web prawn pet. Oh god, yes, the W's and R's that really makes me up with that sort of thing. But anyway, yeah, it's been a while. I started a Tumblr blog, I guess you could say. Um, kind of based on, if you remember that one video, racism and Tumblr sucks. I've been more involved with, well, not necessarily Tumblr, but Tumblr in action, and the idea of egalitarianism and different things like that. And so I decided to start a blog on Tumblr, sort of an outpost in the wilderness of the craziness that is Tumblr. Sort of an outpost of hopefully sanity and different things like that. So I will post the link in the description, so you guys can check out that new place. And if you like reading people's opinions, especially that are more anti-SJW, anti, the stereotypical notion of a social justice warrior, or a refreshing stance on social justice in general, please check it out, because I am more of a dissenter on the main or major, um, I guess, perspectives on social justice than what there is on Tumblr, because everybody's like, oh well, white people are bad or men are bad or nah, nah, nah. Well, I take a more nuanced look at it. So, go ahead, take a look, and, if you like it, follow. If you don't, please message me, or ask me questions, or explain to me why you don't agree with my views or anything like that. I'm more than willing to make a dialogue with people, um, and all that good stuff. But I just wanted to give some updates and stuff. That's one of the updates. My Tumblr blog. It's called Wolf in the Desert. I'm a comedic shit lady. Um, um, but anyway, I wanted to kind of give some updates. I mentioned on my Tumblr blog, I went to, oh gosh, where is it? The Hanford site in southeastern Washington. And that was a fun trip. I went with my sister. And because we've always been interested in nuclear energy, because my dad did a lot of work in the shipyard in Bremerton, um, concerning refueling and nuclear energy and all that stuff. And so he would tell us stories when we were kids. And so, I got interested in nuclear energy when I was very young, probably around 12-ish. And it's always just been sort of a hobby of mine. I decided to go in biology because I wanted something more life-affirming. But sometimes I like to think in an alternate dimension there's a version of me who decided to go work at a power plant or something. Who knows? Um, but anyway, another trip I took just recently. I just got back today. It was early morning. I went with my boyfriend to Nebraska, because he's from Nebraska. He was raised there by his mother. And that was also an extremely interesting trip, because I have not really been much outside of the state of Washington. I've gone to Canada when I was very young, like when I was 8. I've been to Oregon. I even went to Missouri. I tried to join the Army Reserve when I was younger, but I had to leave due to health reasons. So I was in Missouri, Fort Leonard Wood for that. But this is one of the first times I've ever been, Midwest, in the heart of the nation, just because, I was visiting with his family and his friends. And so that was really interesting because I've never been there. It's America's breadbasket, and I remember I was posting on Facebook. Some of you might know, because you guys, some of you are my Facebook friends, but it's like I am experiencing severe culture shock, and that was definitely the truth, because I'm from Washington, right, Western Washington, I mean, we have, a great many number of towns. We have big cities, Seattle, Tacoma, millions of people, or at least hundreds of thousands of people in the case of Tacoma. Um, and those are considered the big cities. I live in a semi-big city. Um, and then going from here, where we have so much technology, so many people, so much diversity, and then going to Nebraska, where, it's like the largest town that we were at, which was Scottsbluff, was 15,000. And then, it's like there's some other areas where it's like, don't blink or you're going to miss it. Um, and, most of everybody there is white. And, that was kind of a jarring experience for me because, it's like where we were staying, we didn't have Wi-Fi. There was no craft beer, which is a big thing in Washington. So it's like no Wi-Fi and no beer make Mary go something something. Go crazy? Don't mind if I do! Oh my gosh, but yeah, I had data there because Verizon's the biggest carrier. So I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Oh, but anyway, text. Um, Other than that, it's kind of, these two vacations that I've taken, I've kind of cut in with the OPET festival, which is like the rejuvenation of Amun-Ra and the Pharaoh and all of that. So, it's a big major holiday in Kemetic belief structure. And so it's like, how do I fit that in with my life? And that's something that I wanted to address because I've been having that issue lately. It's how do I fit in all the stuff in my mundane life, family, my job, my boyfriend, all this stuff. And how do I fit spirituality and religion into that? Because, when I was younger, I pretty much had college, to worry about, or school. Um, after college, I struggled finding full-time work for a while. So there was a lot of free time for me to do the things I wanted to do, pursue certain hobbies, or, practice religion or magic or anything like that. And I don't have that much time because it's like I'm either, at my job, or I'm seeing my boyfriend, or I'm doing chores, or going on vacation in this case in the last couple weeks. So I wanted to discuss that with you guys. How do you find the time to do things? Especially, it's like, I keep thinking about it, it's like, what if I had kids? I cannot imagine, because so many of my pagan friends have kids, and it's like, how do they find the time for worship or holidays or, making magic or anything like that? It's mind-boggling to me, because it's like I have so much on my plate right now. I don't even have children or anything like that. So, how do you find the time? I try and find time whenever. Like in the case of the OPET festival, a lot of my friends, they celebrated during Labor Day weekend. Where in my case, I was in Nebraska during Labor Day weekend. I didn't bring I have a travel altar that has, it's really nice. I should show it sometime, but it has like an eye horse on it. It's a wooden box. And I bought like some kind of card from the Tutankhamun exhibit that was in Seattle when it was here. And it has an image of Sekhmet. And so I keep it in there, and I keep it with some candles and incense and stones and stuff like that for worship and different things like that. But I haven't used it too much. I had a previous travel altar when I was house sitting for a couple. And so I had a little setup at their house where I would do, services and stuff for myself. And nobody was there, so it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, I did not bring that because, I was meeting my boyfriend's mother and his friends and stuff, so I didn't want to creep him out with, like, esoteric items from Egypt that they might not understand because, it's Nebraska. Um, and, he knows I'm pagan, but, um, he's agnostic, so. He's not really big into the religion thing, so you know, I respect that, and I don't want to freak him out with some crazy stuff. Um, but so I didn't bring anything. I decided to do the OPET festival the weekend beforehand, and so you know, I had my whole little celebration then. Used the celebration from Circle of the Sun, written by Sharon Laborde, and that worked out pretty well. So, you know, sometimes I imagine for a lot of folks, if they have previous plans during those times when holidays are originally set, but you know, depending on what calendar you're using, sometimes you have to schedule around that, and you know, obviously that's a big alternative. But for day-to-day stuff, it gets a lot harder because I used to do a lot of daily rituals for Sekhmet for a long time. But the thing about that is, you know, you got to do it like every day. You know, I was trying to do this whole thing, you know, the daily ritual. It was in Eternal Egypt by Richard Reedy. And, you know, it was a really small, you know, 10 minutes at the most kind of thing. And even I was having trouble doing that because it's like, you know, you may wake up late in the morning and you don't have time to do it before you go to work, and then you forget about it in the evening. And so it's like you wake up the next day and it's like, oh shit, I forgot, you know, and then you feel guilty because, you know, you didn't fulfill your duties like you should, especially if like you dedicate yourself as a priest. I have not done that specifically for that reason. It's like I have a full-time job and a bunch of other things, so I'd love to be a priestess someday, but I'm not sure if that's going to be happening in anytime in the near future. So, you know, I try to do that sort of thing. I've been trying to bring that back up variously, and I think there's a delivery person out there, and that's why the dog's barking. It's like, yeah, that's another thing too. It's like, you know, when you have relatives and stuff who don't share the same beliefs as you, and so they're like knocking on your door, or you hear the TV blaring in the next room, or you hear your dog barking or something like that. How do you fit all that in? I'd like to know, you know, whether or not, you know, you're regularly practicing, whether it's barely ever or however you practice. How do you fit that time in? How do you fit that time in? Or what are your practices like day to day? And how do you fit that into your daily practice, ritual, routine, schedule? How's it done for you? So, because you can see, you know, I have some difficulty sometimes. So, you know, comments, rate, subscribe, I don't care. The big thing for me is just discussion, so let me know. Videos, rounds, I don't care. So thank you, and Zenepti. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing pretty well myself, and hopefully I'll make some more videos because, you know, I have an easier setup right now, and it's going pretty well for me. Yeah, check out my Tumblr too because I like to write too, as well. So thank you, Zenepti. Have a good time. Bye.